Alright, just like I told you about the last part that I was going to tell you, so this is a Sacco and Vanzetti, so I'll be reading this one this time. Questions for 1. How does the Red Scare relate to the arrest and execution of Sacco and Vanzetti? It causes the robbing of committing robbery, or what else they done in the payroll checking and using the immigrants to count as present? Alright, number 2. Describe 2 ways in which the justice system was biased or against Sacco and Vanzetti, hint, judge, jury, court procedures, and etc. Jailbreak. What lessons can be learned from this event? The politics can change on format sessions. Interpreting political cartoons. A lot can be said by making historical analogies. You can look at this, have a chair. What is the connection between Salem in 1692 and Boston in 1927? They both have same trials. What is a cartoonist trying to show by making this comparison? To show proof in proficiency, to show proof in proficiency on what shows are currently made. So it's like showing proof or proficiency uh, shows like good quality and shows good quality proficiency style. That can be it. So that could be the one that can be trusted. I'll probably be stopping the video. The video today around 110 or 111. Depends which the video ends. So sometimes I don't know a lot of things when the video is going to end up being on today before I log off to watch YouTube on downstairs. Let's talk about World War I. Alright, this woman will be reading for me this time. World War I. Textbook, Chapter 5, Section 2, pages 5 through 6, the United States responds. While reading Chapter 5, Section 2 of the textbook, fill in the notes below. This is a review from Friday, so you guys can learn about what World War I has been.
Who were the major Central Powers? Kingdom of Bulgaria. Who were the major Allied powers? Soviet Union. The assassination of Ferdinand started World War I. East and West Front. The Eastern Front stretched from the west-south to the north where German forces fought the warriors. The Western Front formed a Pacific South around the northern corner of East. What was the main objective of the Central Powers regarding France? Western Front of Russia. If the Central Powers invaded Serbia, France would fall. Neutrality. Define neutrality. The state of not supporting or staying in the different side of conflict. Who was trying to stay neutral during World War I? United States. Name the POTUS during World War I. President of the United States. Which side did the United States tend to lean towards in Europe? Britain, France. H.
That's it? Oh. I really thought it was going to be the whole definition, but it's okay. It's not that much, but I can tell you the whole definition maybe another part sometime. So for now, I'll be doing more assignments on today, just for currently today. Let's talk about Robert E. So this was taking place by middle school in 8th grade. So this was made around, probably around February of 2018. I could be wrong. But yeah, every time that it blocks my way, I have to close it out. The puzzle piece thing keeps blocking the exit sign. So Mrs. Jordan that used to be here, but now she's retiring. So this was the last view she seen around May 14th of 2018, which was 2 days before my 15th birthday haul that I've done. But this is from 2 more days before. It was 2 days before my 15th birthday. So that's the last view, that May 14th. So So the last time she made it, so I remember making this around around February. Doesn't seem May 14th, but I don't remember making that late ago. So this is Robert E. Here it is. Here he is. So named Robert E. Lee, born, place, and date, January 19, 1807, in Stratford Hall, Virginia. Died, place and date, October 12, 1870, in Lexington, Virginia. Job activity, military leader in general. Known for commanded the Confederate Army of Virginia during the war. Important fun fact is his horse, Traveler, became famous and is shown in many pictures and paintings of Robert E. Lee. Robert and his wife, many lived in her astute Arlington house up until the Civil War. Their land would later become the Arlington National Cemetery. Quote, "It is well, but the war is so terrible, otherwise we should grow too fond of it. We should, grow too fond of it." So that's the quote of his. And I was going to do that assignment. I was going to read that one previously, but now it's I already did it, so who cares? All right. Anyway. All right, let's do headlines and subheadlines. Demonstrates a great deal of knowledge of the historical event. Demonstrates the value or vag. Is that how you say vag? Or how do you say that honestly?
Vague.
Vague. Okay, thank you. So demonstrates a vague idea of a historical event. Information contains errors about the historical event. Article demonstrates knowledge by containing specific historical details. Demonstrates knowledge in a general vague way. I almost said vague, but it's vague. Contains historical inaccuracies about the event. Political cartoon demonstrates knowledge by containing specific historical ideas or details. Demonstrates knowledge in a general, vague way. Contains historical inaccuracies about the event. Yellowing of information. Information is represented in a slanted way and justify U.S. imperialism. Information is somewhat slanted, but the pro-imperialistic viewpoint is unclear. Information is not slanted to promote the imperialist viewpoint. Visual appeal front page is organized in an appealing way and employs a variety of colors. Front page is a little hard to follow and some of the visuals are not as refined as they could be. A front page is poorly organized. Visual appeal seems rushed with little attention to detail. Mechanics written material contains few or any spelling or grammatical errors. Written material contains some spelling or grammar errors. Spelling and grammar errors are fixed and connected. So yeah, this was like a poem kind of thing. Yeah, I remember doing poems around, probably around third grade. I used to know what poems are. Alright, let's do topical debate, which is blank. Alright. Topical debate, note-taking guide and evaluation. For each topic of a debate, students should include notes focusing on the content, message, and effectiveness of the delivery from each candidate. Topic question. You can use a topic. This can be about this. As soon as I can pull it up here.
Candidate for any president of who it is. He or she was a favorite one of the property company that immigrants can change with the owner whenever it takes, or many solution of the atmosphere and guidance for questions. Candidate for people that like presidents for the delivery confident of the products in world that put on the news show. It needs to be on camera as always. They should put immigrants what is it like to be in the situation that needs help on guidance of the God. Emmy. It had to change.
Emmy. So me, that's what it says here. It had to change for possibility of absolutely covered in the war was in a debate and presidents how to talk about it. It changed too much by presidents helping the common by providing anything they can think of. They shall see if they can get track for that process. So number one is
Who debate over an issue that is commonly called a topic or proposition. The issue, by convention, is presented. Affirmative statement beginning with that, for example, that cats are better than dogs, or this house, for example, this house would establish a world government. It followed by the second speaker of France and the second speaker of Germany. The debate continues with the first speaker of the United Kingdom, followed by the first speaker of Russia, and it goes on with the respective second speakers. Each debater speaks for 5 minutes. The first and the last minutes are protected time. 2. When the challenger first puts their question to the sitting defender, challenger punctuates by loudly clapping together their hands and simultaneously stomping their left foot. They then immediately draw back their right hand with the palm held upward, and at the same time, the debate will commence with the Prime Minister's speech, first proposition, and will be continued by the first opposition. This alternating speech will go on until the third opposition. Following this, the opposition bench will give the reply speech. 3. Rule sets on various sites usually serve to enforce or create the culture envisioned by the site's owner, or in some more open communities, the community itself. Policing post content, style, and the participants and format are not independently defined. Nevertheless, in a campaign season heavily dominated by television shows or states that is shown legally in some countries, structure combined with frequent use of reward systems. 4. It is based on the British parliamentary style, but the primary difference is that the proposition's members are not called government, since not only the political government congressmen of that country can introduce new parliamentary topics. In other words, the government can support or oppose the topic in session in the Congress. Another major difference between Brazilian scene and the world is that Brazilians' tournaments used to present themes weeks before the tournament, with the motion only being presented 15 minutes before the debate, as usual BP. Some tournaments, such as Juve Debate and Open Donatal, are changing this, too. Decide on differences, within a framework defining how they will do it. The rage for public debate now shows itself in all quarters of the...
Hold on a second. Hold on, just 1 second, please. Hold on. So who dominated the 9th Democratic debate? So minutes spoken by February 19th televised DNC debate. Warren, 1645. Klobuchar, 1604. Sanders, 1548. Buttigieg, 1452. Bitten, 1321. Bloomberg, 1306. So let's start with the beginning again.
The 2020 United States presidential debates between the major candidates in the 2020 United States presidential election are being sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. 3 debates between the presidential candidates are scheduled to take place on September 29, October 15, and October 22, 2020. Logical consistency, factual accuracy, and some degree of emotional appeal to the audience are elements in debating, where one side often prevails over the other party by presenting a superior context or framework of the issue. In a formal debating contest, there are rules for participants to discuss and decide on differences, Within a framework defining how they will do it, the rage for public debate now shows itself in all quarters of the metropolis. Exclusive of the oratorical assemblies at Carlisle House, Freemasons Hall, the Forum, Spring Gardens, the Casino, the Mitre Tavern and other polite places of debating rendezvous, we hear that new schools of eloquence are preparing to be opened in St. Giles, Clare Market, Hockley in the Hole, Whitechapel, Rag Fair, Duke's Place, Billingsgate, and the back of the borough. Each team has 3 members, each of whom is named according to their team and speaking position within his/her team. For instance, the second speaker of the affirmative team to speak is called the second affirmative speaker or second proposition speaker, depending on the terminology used. Each of the speaker's positions is based around a specific role. For example, the third speaker has the opportunity to make a rebuttal towards the opposing team's argument by introducing new evidence to add to their position. The last speaker is called the team advisor captain. Using this style, the debate is finished with a closing argument by each of the first speakers from each team and new evidence may not be introduced. Each of the 6 speakers, 3 affirmative and 3 negative, speak in succession to each other beginning with the affirmative team. The speaking order is as follows: first affirmative, first negative, second affirmative, second negative, third affirmative, and finally third negative.
Alright, so this is a long term that you can learn about the topical debate. This was from 2020 that has a lot of interrupts. I know presidents have a lot to learn. Like I said, there's crazy people around here. I mean, they don't listen. Sometimes they do listen at the end, but topical debate note taking. Guided in it evaluation. Topical debate. For each topic of a debate, students should include notes focusing on the content, messages, and effectiveness of delivery for each candidate. You can use a topic, candidate, or candidate. Which candidate was more effective at conveying his point for each of the topics during the debate? Did you learn anything new from either of the candidates? In your opinion, did one candidate clearly do better than the other? Explain, setting specific examples from your chart and the debate. So this was left blank. Does I have to do this all the time? I don't know how to move around. You can't do that. It's kind of weird. Let's do a story here. So, a part of my world. So this was from period 2. Please show up. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a different race? I definitely have, but I have never wished I was. Being Latina has definitely impacted my life in positive and negative ways. They were mostly positive, of course. It made me who I am today. It is truly a hard but amazing journey to go through. My life differs because I am Latina. It can be very difficult at times, but I would never want to change it. Despite the struggle, I would never want to change who I am just because times get rough. As a little girl, I have always been attentive as to how my life is different from my peers because of my background. Being born and raised in the US definitely helped me appreciate my culture more. I have always found it interesting how different the two cultures are. I love taking part in them. They are so beautiful yet so different. The different traditions, language, rules, etc. For example, once, I went to my friend's house to go to the movies. Her parents were so incredibly nice. "Hi, how are you?" they exclaimed. "It's so nice to finally meet you. Can we get you anything?" "Nice to meet you too, and no thank you," I replied. "Are you sure? If you need anything you can go ahead," they said. They were so amazing, and my parents are nothing like that. I mean, my parents are very nice but shy. They don't interact too much with my friends. After I greeted her parents, we went to her room. She had a TV that was the same size as the one in my own living room. I was in awe of that. My parents would have never given me a TV in my room. She had beautiful purple walls with many decorations and a walk-in closet. There were little Christmas lights that aligned the walls that made the room dark but bright enough. I once tried to put Christmas lights in my room, but my dad said it wasted too much electricity. I've noticed that the majority of Hispanic parents are way more strict. My parents don't like to let me go out to people's houses, let alone sleepovers. They do this all for my safety, and sometimes they exaggerate, but I understand why. Living in America has definitely been difficult for my family. American families are more benefited and they have more advantages. For example, my mom has kidney failure. She has been going to dialysis treatment for about 3 years now. My mom's body was too fragile for a transplant at the beginning. But about a year ago, we found out that her body was finally ready for a transplant. Later on, we realized that she couldn't get a transplant without a green card. She's been going to dialysis ever since. My parents and my two older brothers were born in Mexico, so it has been a struggle for them ever since. They've had much trouble with jobs and money. A couple of years ago, my dad and my uncle lost their jobs for not having their papers. They both had worked there for almost 20 years. I remember that night so vividly. Dad, what happened? As I walked in the living room and saw my mom crying. They were sitting on the couch. They had been watching TV, but it was paused. I got fired. But we're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Your brothers will help us out, he replied as he lay back. I could tell he was trying to be strong for us. I could see it in his face. What are we going to do? My mom cried. I could tell that my mom had just finished making dinner when my dad broke the news to her. I could smell the wonderful smell of homemade tortillas, and I was so excited for them. The news had made me lose my appetite. We'll be fine. We can have a food business maybe, I don't know, but we will be just fine, he said. This is why I try to follow my parents' rules. They can be a bummer a lot of the time, but I owe it to my parents. They've worked so hard to maintain our family. My parents gave up everything for their family. They came here to give us a better life. Through DACA, my brothers became so successful. I am so very proud of them. I want to be just like them when I grow up. They are my inspiration and they motivate me to try hard in school. Despite all the struggles that come with being Hispanic, I would never want to change. I love being Latina, and it's probably my favorite thing about myself. I love being different. I feel like it's always nice to have something that separates you from everyone else. And my race is one of those things. It has brought me so many blessings and a culture that I love. I've heard a lot of my Hispanic friends say they wish they were white. I don't know why they want to change. One of my friends would always try to hang out with only American kids. She disliked her culture and she wished that she could be just like them. She would say that being American would bring her popularity. Me, on the other hand, I would never wish that. I think that everyone should be happy with their race. I also believe that it is fun and an amazing experience to take part of another culture. Being Hispanic plays a huge part in my life. This journey has had a big impact on my life. I want to raise my kids to know this culture. I give thanks every day for this wonderful blessing. This experience has made me realize that I can't change who I am, I just have to embrace it. I think that this is a major problem in the world today. People want to change things about themselves because of how society is. I don't ever want to change a part of me just because times get rough.
So, good one, Cynthia. Alright, so I am going to click on the assignment that I'm going to be saving for part 107. So, I'm going to scroll down here and click on the assignment that I want to read. I'll be doing the quartz site, part 107. So, yeah, I did some rock simulation to help the rock definition of this situation. Pardon me. When is this released? Hold on. So yeah, I'll be doing this for the next part. Alright, if you guys have any questions for this topic, let me know. Have a good day.